Ring the bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Slam Society. Welcome to my retro review show here of WWE Money in the Bank 2010 from July 18th, 2010 from Kansas City, Missouri at the Sprint Center in front of 8,000 fans. We're doing, once again, a retro review of the first ever Money in the Bank pay-per-view before it became a PLA, because this is what we're doing now. Every time that there is a major show, depending on what the theme is of the show, we're going to go back and we're going to do a retro review of something from in the past. And I'd never seen Money in the Bank 2010. Anyway, let's kick on with it, shall we? This was when, in my opinion, WWE really started to go downhill. This was truly during the era of me no longer giving a shit about WWE. But as the show opened, at least Hugo Savinovich and Carlos Cabrera were still there. Nice to have a little bit of something that you remember. First matchup on the show, SmackDown's Money in the Bank ladder match. Matt Hardy, Kane, The Big Show, Christian, Dolph Ziggler, Drew fucking McIntyre's from fucking Scotland, Cody Rhodes, and Kofi Kingston. This is a moment in time, everyone. Excuse me, a bit of cottonmouth. Kofi comes out, SOS. Ziggler comes out. This is 14 years ago, dude. Everyone looks so young. Christian comes out. This is post Christian Cage from TNA, back in the company. Cody comes out to Smoke and Mirrors. Whoa. Matt Hardy comes out to Whoa, yeah. V1. And of course, the chosen one, Drew McIntyre, comes out. Skinny as fuck, no facial hair. Really a moment in time. I thought it was funny to see. Kane was on the brink of becoming world champion again, doing some of his best work at this stage of the game. The Big Show was in this, and I thought, wow, there's too many people in this, but you know what? They kind of pulled this one off. Big Show did make his entrance, as I said. And smiling Big Show making his entrance is my least favorite Big Show. Come on. The smoke clears as the match begins, and Kane and Big Show face off. And yes, by the way, I am wearing this because it is fucking cold as balls here in Perth, Western Australia. Yes, it does get cold in Australia. Big Show goes to climb the ladder after he clears the ring. And the first rung he stepped on broke. Very good psychology there. He's too heavy for the ladders. The big man Kryptonite comes into play, though. Big Show gets launched into the steel stairs at ringside. One thing I will say, though, that I noticed is that Big Show, after that spot, was down way too long. There's no way those stairs kept him down for that long. But this is really during the period of time where I stopped giving a shit about these types of matches, because we have 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches on this pay-per-view. We used to only have to do 1 a year at WrestleMania. And it's starting to, at this point, get a little bit over the top. These guys went balls to the wall, let's be honest. Kofi hit that boom drop on Drew through the announce table. Big Show chokeslammed Ziggler off the apron through, onto some ladders, I think. I can't fucking remember. I've watched this like 3 sessions, okay? But I think putting Big Show in the match made this an interesting aspect of the match. It was very long. I have to say it was very long. Big Show was then at one stage buried under the ladders at ringside by all the guys. Kofi got... Sorry, excuse me. Geez, I'm lost here. My notes are very, very confusing. I'm sorry. Let's keep going. So there was a really ugly bump for Matt Hardy at one stage. But right at the end there, after all the drama, all the shenanigans, Kane ended up winning the matchup. And finally, getting himself in a position to be world heavyweight champion again. Seeing KANE being given anything at this point in time, it was about time, but it was interesting to see KANE being given a chance to do something fruitful at this stage of his career, because Lord knows for most of that, let's say 2003 to 2010 era, KANE was just there to kind of put other people over. Backstage interview with Sheamus comes after this with Josh Matthews. Again, this is very poignant of when I really lost interest in WWE. Okay. And I don't want to harp on it too much, but like Sheamus cut this very long interview backstage. And I thought to myself, no wonder I was disinterested, because they're pushing these guys, and Sheamus to me was a very uninteresting character. He was bland, boring potato soup, which is a surprise for me to be saying, because usually WWE do good with heels and baby faces are the ones that are boring. Another thing that obviously hurt during this time was John Cena constantly being in the main event, it going full on PG. There's nothing I could be more turned off by than this. I was actually fully invested in TNA wrestling at this point in time. Let's move to the next match. WWE Divas Championship on the line. Alicia Fox taking on Eve Torres. Wow, have times changed. Nothing against these two ladies, but, you know, you look at the ladies that wrestle now, they look like athletes. You got, you know, the NXT ladies like Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez and Bled Davenport and Lyra Valkyria and, you know, Kiana James, Fallon Henley. Alicia Fox and Eva fit, but like, you think about it, like you got like Jasmine Nix, you got Sol Ruka, you got these athletes, Kalani Jordan, these former cheerleaders and gymnasts. And then you look at the main roster and, you know, you got Shayna Baszler, and back then though, they're all that pretty cute little girls who, you know, wore cute little outfits. And the Divas Championship was literally the belt that they did not give a shit about back then. Alicia Fox made her entrance, and I used to hate the way she would walk with her hands on her hips back then. But I did not realize that her theme song at the time was a ripoff of "It's Getting Hot in Here, so take off all your clothes." I don't want to be an arsehole, but Alicia and Eve Torres, to me, again, in the same theme of Sheamus, their characters are boring as bat shit. This is the time period of WWE where things got boring as fuck. Even during, this is like the Nexus era, right? Which was apparently very exciting. I was so disinterested, dude. The ladies tried really hard. That cannot be disputed. The crowd did not care though, and it is not Alicia or Eve's fault. They have no heat on this match because they don't care about the division. This got more time than I thought it would. It actually wasn't too bad. Fox retains with an axe kick. Money in the Bank 2024 cage match. Sorry, 2010 cage match. She wins with the axe kick. I just want to see what the time was on this match up here. Come on, fuckface. Yep. So the first Money in the Bank ladder match went 26 minutes, 17 seconds. This went only 5 minutes, 52. It felt like it went longer than that. And also there was a dark match where Santana Morella beat William Regal. I don't know why they did a dark match on a pay-per-view. But anyway, at this point, I'm like, I can't believe there's still 6 more matches. Jack Swagger was then seen on his phone backstage complaining to his mother about his dad. This was terrible acting on Jack Swagger's part. And for those playing at home, former WCW Tag Team Champion Bunkhouse Buck was the guy that played Jack Swagger's father on television. One thing I will say about Jack Swagger here, I don't think it's his fault that the acting was bad in this segment. Do you know how difficult it would be to act out when you're not a professionally trained actor? to act out a conversation on the phone. I thought this was a poor decision to put Jack in, and it kind of emphasized how boring and bland and potato soup his character was. Like I say about Alicia Fox, Eve Torres, Sheamus, boring, bland characters, not their fault. They're only as good as the creative written for them. Let's get to the next matchup here. Unified WWE Tag Team and World Tag Team titles. The Hart Dynasty, David Hart Smith, Tyson Kidd with Natalya at ringside, taking on the Usos with Tamina at ringside. The Usos and Tamina came out to absolutely no reaction. The Hart Dynasty, however, came out to a pop. Again, talking about these unified tag team titles, how many times have they done this? Just keep it that way. Have the men's tag titles, have they even been on the line on any PLE since WrestleMania? I don't think so. They're not on the next one. I haven't seen them on. No, they haven't. Like the women's have, but not this one. And I say this one, excuse me, but like there's fucking two men's tag team titles on two brands. I knew this was going to happen. They don't have enough time on the PLEs to highlight them, so it's pointless. So just have one tag team title. Have the tag team champions be on one brand, or have them go from brand to brand between each PLE. So say, for example, the Usos are the tag team champions. Okay, for this PLE to this PLE, they're on Raw. But then on SmackDown during that time period, the SmackDown tag teams are vying for number one contendership, excuse me. And then the Usos move over to SmackDown after that PLE. And then they have new contenders to deal with and a story to go with from that PLE to the following one before they move back to Raw. And again, whilst that's happening on Raw, you have the tag teams battling for number one contendership over there. Instead of having two tag titles on two brands, you do the same thing with the women. So the men's tag team, let's say in March, are on Raw, but on March, they're on SmackDown for the women. Okay. But then they get to the next PLE. After that, boom, the men move over to SmackDown. The women move over to Raw. Excuse me. I've got cotton mouth real bad. That's how you should do it. Makes no sense to me to have two men's tag team titles when you don't have the time to highlight them anyway. Tamina here was slim as fuck. And I was like, is she still under contract? And it sounds like she is, but she's on the brink of retirement. She has had a long run there. Good for her. Again, talking about being boring, the Usos back then were boring as fuck. And the Hart Dynasty, they're just wrestlers. I find it fairly easy for me to see how I wouldn't be interested in this era of WWE. As I say that, David Hart Smith, now Davey Boy Smith Jr., should get another run in WWE. I don't know what happened a few years ago when they rehired him and then fucking released him after one dark match. I've seen him in MLW. He's been doing great there. He's got the look. He looks the part. Do they need him? No, they've got way too many people as it is. So fucking whatever. I was not offended by this match. It was actually pretty good. I can't deny the in-ring ability of these guys. That's for sure. I can't deny the in-ring ability of Eve Torres or Alicia Fox. I can't deny the in-ring ability of all the guys in that first Money in the Bank ladder match. But during this time, this was a time where everything was very boring. The Hart Dynasty end up retaining after Natty scoop slammed Tamina on the outside. David Hart Smith locked in a sharpshooter. 5 minutes, 53 seconds. 1 second longer than the Divas title match. Let's move forward. World Heavyweight Championship on the line here. Rey Mysterio, the champion, defending against Jack Swagger. See, as I said before, Jack Swagger was not interesting either. And they tried so hard to make Jack Swagger look like a complex and complicated human being with his issues with his parents and his father and the chip on his shoulder and his angst, the angst that he had in his system. deep within his soul. They tried so hard here to make Jack Swagger look interesting, but it was not interesting. He was bland. And I understand at this point in time in WWE, they are trying to create new stars, but the characters were not compelling. There were no layers to these characters. Jack, though, was very good in the ring. He had a great match here with Ray. Honestly, the match wore on, and I was like, geez, like Jack's really good. Him and Ray just fucking had a barn burner here. It was probably the best regular match on the show. Ray scraped by with a great finish to the matchup. It was kind of like a surprise. Jack had been working on Ray's ankle the whole match. After the match, Jack Swagger attacked Rey Mysterio. KANE made the save and brawled with Jack Swagger to the back. So, because someone needed to save him, right? So this ended in 10 minutes, 45 seconds. I thought it went longer than that. But anyway, the cool thing was the swerve of the lifetime here. Kane's theme song hit. KANE with the Money in the Bank briefcase. He comes out and he challenges Ray for the championship then and there, cashes in. Always laugh at referees during this time period, having that confused look on their face when someone's going to cash in, like, and it always takes them forever to do it, but it wasn't as bad at this point in time. But later on, when people try and cash in, the referees, are you sure? And then it gets fucking foiled. It's like, it's enough already with that shit. Anyway, KANE pretty much just dominates straight up. Eventually hits the choke slam. Thank you. He picked him up again and hit a tombstone, which you seldomly saw at this stage of the game. Like with Big Show hitting that stupid, weapon of mass destruction, WMD punch to the head. Just punch him in the fucking head at the beginning of the match, dude. We saw a choke slam for Big Show earlier. Here we see a KANE tombstone, and KANE is world champion, bitch. That's what I'm talking about. I loved knowing this at that point in time. I wasn't very big on WWE, as I've stated, but seeing KANE win the world championship and have a run, I was into that because he deserved it, because he never got a proper run. And he, again, had spent 6, 7, 8 years putting over other people like fucking Schnitzky and shit. Backstage, Edge is watching the monitor as all this happens. Jericho approaches him. They have a confrontation, and it looks like at least they're showing there's some contenders to win the other Money in the Bank briefcase match for Raw. Let's move forward. WWE Women's Championship on the line here. Layla with Michelle McCool at ringside. Those two ran the women's division in WWE at this point in time. They deserve some props. I think Layla and Michelle McCool should go in the Hall of Fame together, to be honest with you. Kelly was the opponent here for Layla, and she was flanked by someone called Tiffany. And I'm like, I don't know who Tiffany is. I know who Tiffany Stratton is. Fuck yeah. But I don't know who Tiffany was. Maybe she was, I don't know, like a rookie that didn't last very long. But anywho, times have changed, right? You see ladies like Layla and Kelly, Eve Torres and Alicia Fox, and this is not a knock on them, because they fucking went balls to the wall. They did the best that they could. And Fit Finley was adamant that it would work because they were going on Divas searches and all that shit. I believe Layla won a Divas search. So no wonder Mick Foley thought that Noelle could be a wrestler, because it was all like cute little chicks who were models that wrestled, and now it's way different. And I think Noelle had some concussion issues, and it went to show that this ain't ballet. After what they had done with Kelly in the build up to this, calling her Smelly Kelly and embarrassing her, she sold her anger very well. They went balls to the wall again in this match. These two really tried hard here. But with some shenanigans, Layla picked up the win and retained the championship. I'll honestly say this. The two women's title matches here, and this one went 3 minutes and 58 seconds. How fucking insulting, right? but that 3 minutes and 58 seconds, they sassafras maximized their minutes there. They really did do their best to make it as good as possible, despite the fact that the company did not give a flying fuck, and Vince is probably busy wondering who's going to shit on the head of next. Next matchup, Raw, Money in the Bank ladder match here. Second last matchup on this show. Mark Henry, Chris Jericho, Edge, Randy Orton, Evan Bourne. It is a different time. John Morrison, The Miz, and Ted DiBiase Jr. with Maurice at ringside. Hubba, hubba, hubba. Oh my God. No wonder The Miz fell in love with her on sight, dude. He probably could not believe at the moment that they clashed, if you know what I mean, for the first time. He was probably losing his shit. Good on you, Miz. I like the Miz, bro. You see those reality shows, the Total Divas or Miz and Mrs. And the Miz comes across like a really cool guy. And I used to hate him. I used to think he was a douchebag, but I find out he was cool. And the guy who I thought might be cool, Daniel Bryan on Total Divas or Total Bellas, was an absolute fucking boring prat. Honestly, Daniel Bryan is the most boring human being I've ever seen on those shows. I can't believe he got to be involved in them. I thought John Cena was very entertaining, but The Miz, he switched me over. I didn't like The Miz, and then I was like, he's actually fucking sick. And he lives the dream, bro. He's got that woman in his life. Oh my God. And she only got hotter with age as well. Anyway, out of this match, Ted DiBiase Jr. is the only one not in the business anymore. John Morrison is in AEW, or actually he's in Ring of Honor mostly. Orton's still there. Evan Bourne is Matt Sydal in AEW. John Morrison, I've already said. Jericho's in AEW with that fat gut plus a six-pack. Edge is Adam Copeland in AEW with a broken leg. Mark Henry is retired. What a difference to a differentiation to consider when you're looking at this lineup here. And The Miz still in WWE, still killing it. And I've heard Maurice had a bit of a cancer scare recently, so I hope she's doing okay, because it's quite clear that she's a lovely person, and her and The Miz are just a fucking class couple, bro. Seeing 3 multi-ladder matches in a week is too much. Obviously, I saw AEW's Forbidden Door show last weekend, and now I've got 2 this weekend. But with this retro review now, I have to watch 5. So fuck you. This better get some good views. I'm telling you right now. Another memory that I uncovered from looking back in the day, I remember for a short period of time, Mark Henry and Evan Bourne were tagging on Raw. I don't know if Mark got injured or something, but I thought they had great chemistry as a tag team, and I thought that they could have really made a run for the tag titles and be like a long-term tag team. There was a great spot halfway through this match where 4 people were on 2 ladders, and Mark Henry went between them and pushed them both down. Maurice then got involved when all the wrestlers were all fucked up, and she realized she could climb the ladder and grab the briefcase for Ted. So she takes off her heels on the ring apron, which is a little bit saucy. She's a saucy minx, bro. She gets in the ring and she starts climbing, but then John Morrison interrupts her and tells her to get out the ring. Whilst that's happening, the distraction's there for Ted DiBiase Jr. to try and climb the ladder. There's no way that's happening. I'm sorry, Ted. Yeah, it's again, these new guys that they brought in, bland, like a Curtis Axel, etc. Like they just didn't have the personality of their fathers, and I'm sorry. I don't know if Ted needed to grow a beard like his father as well, but maybe, I don't know, he needed to go a route like Bray Wyatt did and be completely different from his father. Who knows? Edge bumped at one stage on an upside down ladder that was like this, that was set up by Ted. Messed up spot, but great stuff. Everyone was spent. Orton was going to do it. It looked like it, but The Miz interjected, and The Miz won the Money in the Bank briefcase here for Monday Night Raw. Great suspense at the end of this match. Let's get to our main event of the evening here. Let's finish this off within under 30 minutes. Steel cage match, WWE Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus defending against John Cena. We have the Nexus storyline taking place right here, right now, at this stage of WWE. And I know people were talking about how great it was and how compelling it was and interesting and different. It was. It was. It's just unfortunate that they didn't go with it and they didn't trust it. And I've heard that Cena is to blame for that because he didn't want to drop the belt to Wade Barrett. And eventually, Cena fucking killed off the whole group. Good work, John. You know, the Super Cena era fucking sucked. Okay. I've talked about this before many times. I gave up on WWE after 3 strikes. Invasion Angle getting fucked up due to egos. NWO Angle getting fucked up due to egos and shit ideas. And of course, ECW's reboot being fucked around with because Vince is a fucking idiot and well beyond being in this position at that point in time. And that's going back to 2005, 2006, right? I still peppered in every single month with my friends watching the pay-per-views. Eventually, it got to the point was like 2008, 09, where we watch just the Rumble and WrestleMania. By this point, I didn't give a flying fuck about anything. I didn't want to watch any WWE. I was so over it. And again, as I said before, I was watching TNA because they were doing something different. And WWE was slowly but surely becoming like baby powder up the asshole wrestling. You know, I always have these criticisms of Cena at the time. Like earlier in the match, he hit a surprise suplex on Sheamus, and it was just a messy looking snap suplex. And I was like, at the time, thinking he's a poor wrestler. Like, and I know the whole Hogan thing, it doesn't matter how good someone is in the ring. It's all about, you know, the money that they draw, and if they reach a casual audience. I totally understand that now. But back then, I didn't want to keep seeing the fucking same guy in the main event for fucking years on end, and it did not fucking relent for fucking years. I found Cena to be boring, Sheamus to be boring, all these other Ted, all these other guys, Matt Bourne, Evan Bourne, not Matt Bourne. I found all of these characters to be boring. Sheamus, Jack Swagger, like all these young guys that they were trying to push, boring. Like I was way more invested in TNA and what they were doing. Clear as day again with John Cena with "You talk too much." You can hear him yapping the whole fucking match. They waged war for sure. I have nothing to add really. It's just a typical cage match, no bleeding, them hitting moves on each other, stuff off the top rope, whatever. Cena hit the AA and out came Nexus. Michael Tarver had some bolt cutters. Mike Chioda stole them off him. Then they wanted referee Jack Doan to give them the keys to open the door. Jack Doan threw the keys into the crowd. I wonder where those keys went and who has them. There was a ref bump after this. Sheamus then tapped out to the shut the fuck up or the STFU. But because the referee was down, Cena tried to climb out the cage. Nexus got involved. Justin Gabriel got thrown off the top of the cage onto the floor of the ring. Cena was dealing with them. And on the other side, Sheamus was trying to escape. And Heath Slater tried to stop him, but it was only one person. Sheamus managed to wriggle out of that. And Sheamus got out the cage, retained the championship. Thank God. Even though I think Sheamus was boring at this stage, thank God I didn't have to watch Cena win. After the match, Cena was so mad. He was insane mad. And he beat the fuck out of some of the guys from Nexus. Anyway, we're almost at 30 minutes here for this review. I want to get it underneath that. So thank you for joining me for the retro review here on the Slam Society for WWE Money in the Bank 2010. To give this a rating out of 10, I think I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, just below good. It was just an okay show, but a very poignant moment in time in WWE where they were trying to bring in these new guys and start to rebuild whilst also focusing on continuing to keep some of those mainstay guys that have been there for a while, like a Matt Hardy, Randy Orton, Cena, Kane, Big Show, like in that upper echelon, Mark Henry, whatever. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Please check out our simulation of Money in the Bank 2024 that we did on WWE 2K24. And please stay tuned within the next day. Our review of Money in the Bank 2024 from Canada will be dropping. And then, of course, the next day, we will have our Heatwave review drop. And we will have also our Heatwave review drop on Monday for the, simulation is happening tomorrow. Monday is NXT Heatwave review by me. I'm sorry. Okay, it's like fucking 11:30 at night, so I've had enough. Thank you again for joining me here. Please check out some of our other retro reviews and check out Slam Society Extra, where all of our non-wrestling content is going to be moved over toward. So that's all exciting stuff. And I will see you all next time. Thank you.